Here we go. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to look at the branded magazine and designs in Command. So we are going to come down once we are logged into Command to the left-hand side where our applets are and choose Designs. And that's going to take us here. Go ahead and accept cookies if you have not already. Let this load up. We're always going to hit this blue or teal, whatever color we want to call it, plus button in the lower right corner of our designs window. Let me close some of this stuff. 5 million things open as usual. Okay, come on, Internet, work with us here. Okay, I'm going to go incognito and see if that fixes our issue. Just like you guys, I don't just preach, I practice. Sometimes you just got to go into an incognito window. And of course, I did just try this before class, just in case, but see what happens here. Let's go this way. All right, there we go. And so we are going to pick print. So please notice one of the biggest questions I get, and I always try to touch on questions I get frequently in these classes, is when people want to email out the newsletter. This is not an email template. So you're going to create it in the print category and then add that link from the print into an email template. So I'll show you guys how to do that today. So we're going to pick print and click next. That's going to open up our design system. And if we're in designs in an incognito window, we do want to click up here on this eyeball and allow those third-party cookies so we don't run into any issues. Let this keep loading up. And now that we're here in our templates, the one that we are going to choose is lead generation. And it's the very bottom one, the personally branded zine, short for magazine. How cute. All right, personally branded zine. There we go. And so we should be seeing a new version of this because this is supposed to be quarterly, right? So we should see a new version come out in April that will have 3 new articles that we can add. Now you can choose to send this out as a quarterly magazine. I prefer to break it up into a monthly and you get 3 articles. So I prefer to do 1 article per month, which is what I showed you guys back in February, I think. But it's completely up to you how you want to send it out. So I'm going to click the red use button on the branded magazine. It's going to open up for me. So now on the left-hand side are the template pages that we have, and you can see there's quite a few of them, okay? Drag you all the way through so you can get a view of those. The first one is the cover. So if I want the cover, which I do, I'm going to click the plus button on the template. It is going to pop it into my design, okay? And so then, let me move this bar out of my way. There we go. So now I personally am just going to do this monthly. So I'm going to come up here, select my logo and switch it out for my company logo, like so. I'm going to add my name at the top and my office name, team name, right? If you're a team, you might want to say the Shore team at Keller Williams Realty Elite, or however you want to identify your brand in the upper right corner there. And I'm going to go ahead and play off the New Beginnings title. If you wanted to give yours a different title, you could definitely change it out. But with it being almost spring, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the New Beginnings. But I'm going to take out winter here because it's almost spring. And say your local real estate update. And I can change out my volume number here. and say volume 3. I can click into there because I was doing this monthly. And I'm going to change this to March from winter, March 2021. Okay. Now, what I did with this, what I'm going to keep is home maintenance projects to tackle ASAP. That is the article that I want to keep. There are actually 3 articles within the magazine that you can choose. Real estate resolutions are the ones that I used in January. And then Say Goodbye to Winter Blues, I used it in February. So I'm just going to actually delete these out by highlighting the box and clicking delete on my keyboard. And what I'm going to do with this instead is add my logo. Right here. I'm going to click on my assets. I opened a folder. I'm going to pull in my company, my team logo. So if you have one, if not, you can pop whatever you want down here. This is completely customizable. So I'm only showing you one way that you could do it. You can completely leave it as one quarterly magazine and share it that way. You can break it down into pieces like I'm showing you here. If I wanted to, I could actually pull in my headshot and pop it down here. However you want to customize to suit your need, you're welcome to do so. Okay. And the one that the article I'm leaving is the home maintenance projects to tackle ASAP, because we all know spring cleaning is here, right? Everybody feel good on how to customize the home page or the cover page? Good? All right. I'm going to move back into the template. A note from, I think I would like to have that. So I'm going to click the plus button on that one. Just going to switch this out to be my name. So again, if we've set up our assets, I can click on text here, my assets. Here's my name, and I can click replace. It's going to pop my name right in there. I can click on this and replace it with my own logo. And then I can click here and replace it with my own photo. I see you in the chat. I'm going to check that in just a sec. And click done. See what we got going in the chat. How do we set up the assets? I can show you that. I'm going to open another window so I don't undo what we're doing and just go in like normal. I want to be me. There I am. So Debbie, here's how we set up the assets. You're going to go into the design platform just like normal. And so you'll notice the design platform is actually built by a company called WeBrand. So when we're first getting in here, we still have our command applets on the left. However, once we fully go into the WeBrand ecosystem, you're going to drop those command logos or command applets on the left. So once I click the plus button, and this is where I'm going to need to be, I can just pick anything to get myself forward into the system. You'll see the applets on the left will disappear. The logo up here turns to WeBrand, and I'm here. At the top, once I'm fully into the system, we have templates, my designs, and brand assets. So we'll go in here. I've actually set up my color palette because these are the colors I use the most frequently. You know, you could set up maybe your holiday color palette if you're going to use specific colors for the holiday season, or a spring color palette. If you're going to change it up seasonally, you could do that, right? And then, so that's your colors and fonts. So if you have a specific font that you use for your brand, you can actually add it here. You just have to make sure it's in one of these file types. So again, if you have your own company brand that you had somebody design or that you designed, if you're that fancy, then you just have to make sure it's in one of these file types here, and you can actually upload your font. You can go to your logos, and I've actually set up folders, so you can see there's a plus button over here for a new folder. So since I'm in 2 market centers, I actually have my KW Elite logos. I have my KW Greensboro logos. This is my company logo that I just made up so that I could have a pretend logo for a company. I have a picture of the Winston-Salem Market Center and just a generic KW logo. So you can build out as many folders in here as you would like. You know, if you have your logo in different formats, color types, shapes, sizes, etc. Smart text. So this is where you saw me replace my name. This is my Facebook business page. This is my name, my app code, my resources website for you guys, my cell phone number, bio, company address, my actual agent website, and my email. So I can actually add more things here. If I wanted to say add my Instagram, then I could do that. If I pop my Instagram link into a lot of things, then I could add it here. And so the benefit of doing this is, again, they all show up under my assets. So under text, I have my assets. Under images, these are headshots that I use a lot. Under logos, there's those folders that I created, so I can get into the different logos that I need to access. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. All right, so back to our magazine. Here's the note for me. Again, I'm going to switch out this logo, highlight, come over to the left, pick the logo I want to replace it with, and hit the replace logo button. And it's going to pop my KW Elite logo in there. Good. And so then I can switch this up however I want it. Now, again, this was written to be a quarterly newsletter. So it's got a lot of Happy New Year, 2021 is here, yada, yada, yada. So I do recommend customizing this to what you want it to say, right? I might want to say Happy Spring. So I'm just actually going to come in here and replace New Year with Spring, because I believe spring starts this Sunday. And I can say, you know, winter is gone. It's time to put the cold weather behind us and focus on a brighter tomorrow. Just customize this with your message, right? Your brand. Now, granted, I know that people want a lot of automation, and we are in a day of curation and a customized consumer experience. If you think about what happens when you shop online and then you go into Facebook and then you see the same stuff you were shopping for. If you log into Netflix, it's making recommendations to you, or any of the other video viewing platforms. People are used to a very customized experience nowadays. So I do think it is worth it to customize this out at least a little bit. The article is written for you, but take the time to send your clients a message from you, right? If you have an admin, great. If not, set aside a time block and get your little message written. If you're going to break this down into a monthly newsletter when the new version comes out in April, just when you time block, go ahead and say, okay, in March, this is what I'm going to say. In April, this is what I want to say, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't have to be long, right? Just a short little blurb from you, okay? So now if I lift up the pages from the bottom, I always end up with this blank front page. But if I hit the 3 dots, I can delete it. Yes. Okay. So now I have my cover. And I have the note from me as my second page. Click back on templates. If I wanted to do maybe a month in review, I could add that page. This says year in review again because this was for Q1 of 2021. But say I just want to do months in review. And I could go months. Might have to move this over a little. And then expand this out a little bit. till I have that looking the way I want it to look. And I could change out these numbers with whichever numbers I want, right? So you can get as granular with this as you would like. If you tag people out and you send this to a certain set of people in Buena Vista and a certain set of people in Ardmore and a certain set of people in Sherwood Forest, or by city, Louisville, Pofftown, Winston-Salem, you could break this down, or you could just do the entire Triad MLS, right? I mean, it's really up to you if you want to send the same numbers to a group of people, or if you would prefer to break it down to a certain subset of people. It's really up to you how far you customize this, right? Does anybody have any questions on that? Or you could not use this page at all. That's completely up to you. Good?
Where would we get our numbers to fill in?
The MLS.
Okay.
So like if I wanted to, and plus Candy sends out stuff, but Candy, or who was talking to me?
Kim.
Yeah. Kim, Candy sends out numbers. So you might have seen like on Friday, I think she posted like what's happening in the Triad MLS this week in the last 7 days. She shares numbers like that.
Okay.
But also, if you really want to break it down, and I do recommend, I personally am a numbers person. Learning the market as a real estate agent is really important. So, you know, when you're first getting started, you're getting a lot of stuff thrown at you. But as you move, as you progress, you know, it's important to know this neighborhood's up, this neighborhood's down, this neighborhood's trending to a higher cost per square footage, this neighborhood's losing value, shorter days on market, longer days on market, right? That kind of stuff. And you just kind of acclimate to the fact that you need to know those things. But one of the best ways to do that is to learn how to really use the MLS. So I manipulate the MLS in several different ways, because something I actually look at differently than you guys would is I look at agents from other companies' production, right? So I actually manipulate the MLS to show me that kind of stuff. So mine looks a little bit different than yours when I do searches, but I can search residential quick and say I wanted to do that, that little section of that by zip code maybe. If I wanted to break it down that way, I can do a residential quick search for 27104, which is where I live. So I do pay a lot of attention to it. And I could change this to closed. And I can change this date to say I wanted to see everything in February 1st to the 28th and click OK. So in 27104, in the month of February, there were 44 listings that closed. So I can hit the results and I can go through and see what they were. Now your little agent one-liner won't look like mine because I customized mine to show me what I want to see. But so you can go through and see the numbers. There's like little reports that you can run down here at the bottom on what you just searched. So stats, tabular, there's all kinds of stuff that you can look at, right? And see what the different things are in the MLS. And that just comes with time. But as far as finding out just what sold, you can do a simple search like me. 44 things closed in 27104. There was an average price point of this, right? And like I said, you can get as detailed with that as you want to get. Or just kind of leave it generic, or just not use that page. It's completely.
The nice part too is you can save those searches. So if it's something you're going to do over and over, Kim, you can actually save that search. So the next time you need that information, you just go into your saved searches and hit the button.
Absolutely, Debbie. Absolutely. And isn't that right though, Debbie? Like when you're first getting into real estate, you're not thinking about the fact that you can do that. But the further you get sucked into the wormhole, you're like, let me get that data. And you can do all these kind of fun things. And once you set them up, like she said, they're saved and you can just run them each month when you need to pull the numbers. So real estate resolutions, I actually use this in January because January is the month of resolutions. So that's when I use this article. So I'm not going to use it. Featured listing, if you have one special featured listing that you want to use, you could pull in that page. We'll pull it in just for good measure so you guys can see it. So there you go. If you had one special listing you wanted to show off, then you could. And now here is the article I want to use, which is home maintenance projects to tackle ASAP. So I'm going to pull that in by clicking the plus button. I'm going to pull the second page in by clicking the plus button. Another page I like, essentially this is a brag page, right? As you start producing, you can start putting in, this is what I did. Somebody have some? Nope, okay. Success stories from clients, right? So if you closed a client recently and they gave you a glowing review, then you could put the success stories page in. This client closed on their dream home in Old Sherwood Forest, how excited they are, blah, 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 right? So you could add that page. This was Say Goodbye to Winter Blues, which I used last month in February. Some hot listings if you have multiple listings that you want to show. And I really like the Ask an Agent. So I can hit the plus on that one. It's going to pull it in. So you can put whatever question that you want to pop in here. This one just says, what home improvements can boost my property value without burning a hole in my wallet? Painting, quick outdoor, curb appeal stuff, couple of flower beds. Debbie, what else? What other ideas you got there?
Decluttering is always big.
Decluttering.
Any
Simple.
bathroom, like bathroom caulk, if it's looking a little moldy, peel it up, put down fresh caulk.
That's what I was going to say. Simple improvements, right? You have a busted screen door, fix it.
Yep.
Caulk missing, fix it. Your grout in your bathroom looks nasty. Get some vinegar and baking soda and a toothbrush and scrub, 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 and clean it up. That makes huge improvements in the way stuff looks, right? So whatever tip that you would want to put here come from contribution for your client, right? Even if they're not getting their home ready to sell, I may or may not have spent 6 hours cleaning my teeny tiny bathroom last Sunday because it's spring cleaning time and I just felt like it was just bleh. So tiles, caulking, grout, you know, scrubbing stuff down, really getting in and cleaning behind stuff, getting a steamer and cleaning something, things like that can really improve the feel of your home. So just think about what you could add. And then of course you can throw yourself a little plug in there to download your app if you so choose. And so those are going to be our pages. So I'm going to pull up the pages. I have my cover. These are just the pages that I added to mine. I have my note. So think about when you're reading a magazine, you usually have a note from whoever, right? So my Fixer Upper magazine or Magnolia Journal, whatever it's actually called, which is probably the only magazine I actually take the time to look at. It always has a letter from Joanna at the beginning, right? Your month in review, year in review, don't add this page, completely up to you. But if you want to show somebody what's happening in a zip code, a county, a neighborhood, you can add it here. Brag about a listing that you think looks fancy, if you so choose. Your little article's already written for you. Home maintenance projects to tackle ASAP, but look at these pages and make sure that they are complete, because like the, which one was it? I think it was in this one. Yes, I'll just show you this page. In this one, it says, boost your home's IQ. Find smart appliances you can think of at a local store that you prefer. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the pages and adding what you need to add, right? But if you think about it, if you go ahead and set the 3 articles up for the next 3 months, set your letter from you up for the next 3 months, or if you're only going to do this quarterly, it only takes one time and you get to send it out to a lot of people, but it feels customized to that person, right? Which is what we want. Everybody wants to feel like stuff is curated to them right now. So taking a little bit of time is good for that. All right. And so then of course you could take this, switch out your own photo. What can I do? We already touched on that. And you can put whatever question in here that you want, right? Paint. I have caps lock on. Simple home improvements or simple fixes. Simple curb appeal, gardens, whatever you want to type in here, right? And so then we have all of our pages complete. We're going to pretend like we have them all set up the way we want them to be so that we can move forward. Does anybody have any questions? Good?
Yeah.
All right. So now we have our pages done and customized and we have them the way we like them. We want to make sure that we title all of our designs. So this one for me is going to be March 2021 real estate update. Okay. So now I've retitled this. So now I have a couple of options when I'm talking about what do I want to do with this. And there is no right or wrong answer. So I don't want anybody to think there is. I'm very techie. I'm always going to opt for tech and emailing and posting and things like that. Some people are still very traditional and there is nothing wrong with that. And they're going to want to print this out and physically mail it or physically give it out. Some people are going to want to do a mixture of both. None of those are wrong. Do what you want to do with your brand. So if you want to print this, then you're going to download it as a PDF. I would always do high resolution print quality. And I actually like to go into my publish settings and use a manual bleed and download as a CMYK because that gives crisper resolution on pictures. Okay, I'm going to start my download. It's going to say it's preparing up here. And it'll take it a second because it's a few pages long. So we'll let that get done. La, la, la. Anybody have any questions, tips, comments while we wait for the download? No. Okay.
Have you emailed it to yourself and what does it look like when you email it?
I
Does
have-
they look like pretty big pages. Do they get a link like a flip book or do they just get the pages
Yep.
one after the other?
I was glad that I saw you in here because you do use Flipbook.
Yep.
So you have a couple of different options. We'll just let this keep downloading. You guys get the point on the PDF. You download the PDF. You can print it at home. You can print it at the market center. You can send it to Staples, Office Max, whoever's got the sale right now and get it printed there. Glossy paper, flat paper, whatever you want to do. I know that Lewis & Lewis, they like to print their newsletter and they actually use the really big paper and fold it over. That's how they choose to do it, right? And he loves the way that they look and they mail them to their clients. And so shout out to Rick because he always makes a really good looking newsletter. So you can do it that way, but you can also click this share button, Debbie. And
Okay.
what I usually do, you're going to want to use the project, not the design, because this design means this page, right? So now
Right.
if you wanted to use this page and post it on Facebook, cool, right? Monthly Ask an Agent, weekly Ask an Agent, then you can use that. But if you're wanting to share the magazine, you're going to take the project and you want this link right here.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we're going to copy that link. Now, if we want to send this with an email template, which, you know, are the prettiest looking ways to send an email now, then we would just go into, I like to do it as a single step smart plan. That is my preferred method. So we're actually going to create another design, which is an email. I had somebody that was like, I am trying to email this thing and it's not emailing. And that is because it is not an email template. It is a print template. Okay. So now we're going to create a design for the email and you can reuse this design over and over and just pop the new link in each month. right? And so I'm going to use Classic Newsletter A. You can use whichever template you find out you like. And I'm going to click next. And this is going to be my March 2021 newsletter. This is already getting filled in with my Market Center name. That's why the little stars are there. It's actually going to be the logo. And then I can click on my headline copy. And again, you can save this and just change the email each month. Monica's monthly real estate news, whatever you want to call this. Team Overby, Freeman Real Estate, right? Whatever you want. Take this out. I hope. Ooh, simmer down, Monica. Quit hitting so many buttons. Come on. Okay. I hope you are gearing up. My goodness. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm running off a little bit of sleep. Here we go. I hope you're gearing up for a great spring. Blah, blah, blah. Right? You guys are real estate agents. You know how to add fluff. You get it. It's a monthly newsletter. Hope you're gearing up for a great spring. Here's an article to help get you excited about spring cleaning or spring home improvements or whatever that you want to say. And then we're going to click done, right? Your little message will go right here. And then you could, well, you could also say, you know, click at the end, click below for my monthly newsletter. And there's not a space there. And my fingers made me have one. Right? We're going to click done. Now, I like to have a picture here. So I'm going to drag this image to where I can get it to drop where I want it. Maybe. We'll see. Right there. Okay. So I actually just saved this. Oh, fun. This page, that is not command. That was my internet. We have too many people on Zoom right now. This front page right here, I actually just saved it as a picture. And the way that I did that was I clicked download, and this time I chose PNG. And I started the download. It's only going to download that front page, but I'll do it again so that you guys can see it. Hopefully it will download this time. Download ready. Thank you. All right. So you'll see I have my pretty little cover page right here. Local real estate update. It's for me. It's volume 3 of March 2021 with my little stuff here at the bottom. So now I have that picture. So now I'm going to add an image from my computer. I just downloaded it. So it's right here. I'm going to pick it and save it. And it popped the newsletter in. Right? Debbie, you like to use Flipbook. So you could take that PDF and put it into your Flipbook. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's so that you can like flip through it and it actually looks like magazine pages. It's up to you guys if you want to do that, but I can also say my button, pin, read the newsletter. Since I made that a lot longer, I'm probably going to want to take this length up to about 300 just to be safe. I'm going to link it to a web address. Which web address? This one. Share the project. That's the link. I know this seems like a lot, but once you've done it a couple of times, I can go through this fast. It just, you know, you guys hadn't seen it yet. Okay. Make sure you always click this done button. Okay, now let's look at options preview. Monica's monthly real estate newsletter. Of course, you would have a much nicer little intro there. They see the cover of your newsletter, read the newsletter here. That's what it looks like on the tablet. This is what it looks like on their phone. Right? All branded to you, nice and pretty with all your stuff on it. Getting populated from command there. So I'll go ahead and send the test email to myself. And we'll pop back over into my email account. Let me pull it off screen just in case there's something sensitive in there. Okay. I'm going to come back on to this side. There we go. So there's what it looks like. Obviously, you guys would have a better little blurb right there. But anyway, Monica's monthly real estate newsletter, read the newsletter here. It's going to take them to that WeBrand link, and it's going to look like this, cover, flip. Now, the way that this is scrolling through, like I said, if you use Flipbook, which is what Debbie uses, it actually flips it. It looks like pages that are turning. Debbie, do you pay for that or do you use the free version?
We upgraded to the paid version because when COVID hit, we did everything over to Flipbooks, everything from our buyer and seller consults and everything.
Right. I remember when you did that. So again, this doesn't look bad, right? But if you wanted to amp it up a notch, Flipbook, let me pull one up so that they can see it. Which one do you, this is the one you use, Debbie?
No, I use Canva. You can actually create Flipbooks in
Oh.
Canva.
There you go. So Debbie uses Canva, but so you can see them.
I can share one if you want.
Yeah. Do you mind?
No, not at all.
Here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let Debbie share her screen so you guys can see what she does.
Murphy's Law. I said that now. No, I can't find one. Okay.
They do look nice when she does them.
Yeah, let's start with that one. All right. So this is the one that we do when we partner with lenders to do the homebuyer seminars. And it's super simple. You find a template you like that represents what you want to do, and you just arrow through it. It's not that hard. And there's the little arrows there, and you just click on it, and it rolls through. And we've got all of our stuff here.
There you go.
And then it's really simple. We talk to the points on the screen. We have one for this is a lending one. We have the one for first-time home buyers. We have listing ones. It just depends upon what you want to do with it.
Right.
So
super cool. Thank you.
Really easy to set up. Super easy to set up.
And so what Debbie did is essentially took what we just made with the magazine and put it in Canva so she could use it for whatever. But you do have other ones that are, they actually flip like a magazine. Do you know what I'm talking about, Debbie?
Yeah, we tried a couple of those, but you get like 2 free flip books, and at the time we needed 30. So yeah.
I'm trying to find, I know I had one before.
We used Flipping Book at first.
Flipping Book?
Yeah.
Flip Snack is one I've looked at too. Let me see. So there you go. See how it looks on the side? I'm not going to go any further with doing that. But when you flip it, it looks like actual magazine pages. And you can upload any PDF into that. So if you want it to look that way, you can. And in that instance, you would just take the same template here, but on this button, you would upload the Flip Snack link. And then when they opened it, it would look like a magazine flipping pages. But either way, it looks fine. It looks nice. It's pretty. It's not that hard once you've tried it. I know it looks like a lot when I'm first telling you. But once you've done it, I promise it is not that bad. I've just done it so many times that to me it's become easy, right? And it's just like with anything else. And like I always tell you guys, using command is like using your phone, right? No one sits you down and says, okay, come here, Bridget, I'm going to take your cell phone. I'm going to show you how to use your cell phone. You're going to click here and you're going to click there, and then you're going to download this app because you're going to click here and go into your app store. You just inherently learn how to use it through use. And command is going to be the same way. I mean, I'm going to show you how to do things, but until you actually do them, it's not going to make as much sense. But really, I have people ask, how do you go through DocuSign so quickly? How do you go through design so quickly? Because I do it a lot, right? So it's, you know, if you ever have any questions, of course, I'm always here for you to answer those. But what I do, I digress back into what we were talking about. I've created this email newsletter, right? The email version. Got the link to the newsletter. I've got it saved. March 2021 newsletter. Yes, we do have the campaigns for email campaigns. I'm still not sold, only because I've used them and they've been fine. I've had other people complain to me about them, and I know that Smart Plans works perfectly. So I'm just still sticking with One Step Smart Plans. I move up to Smart Plans. I feel like it's super easy to add new people to. I click create. March 2021 newsletter. And that's all it is. So I'm not coming up with some intricate, long smart plan. I'm just doing my March 2021 newsletter. And then I'm going to click send an email, because that's all we're doing. Happy spring. Your spring newsletter is here, whatever you want it to say, right? As your title. I'm going to pick from designs, the March 2021 under my designs, because I already made it. March 2021 newsletter. It's telling you, please be aware if you make edits here, it's going to save in your designs library. Okay, so we already created the design, but if I get in here and I'm like, I want to change this up a little bit, then I can do so here, but it will change the design back in my designs library. So it's going to show me the newsletter, right? So again, if I wanted to change up some verbiage here, then I could. There's the image, there's the button, there's my branded stuff at the bottom. All looks good to me because I already did it. Save and exit. So now for the entire month, and of course you'd be setting one up for April or something like that, you'll be able to use this, right? And you'll have the smart plan. It's just that one step. It's an email. So anybody that you meet that you want to get this back in your contacts, you can add 500 people at a time to this if you have that many people in your database. Because I've got 1,014. So I can show up to 500. It does take a while for 500 contacts to load. That's why I usually keep 50 as my default. But if I want to take a big bulk action, I'll pull up 500, select all, bulk action, add to a smart plan. There's my March newsletter, select, start them all now or start them all on the following day. So again, depending upon what you're going to put in your monthly newsletter, if you're going to feature a listing, you're going to need to actually, you know, right before you start sending it out, you're going to need to add the listing. But if you're not featuring the listing and you have everything set up in it, then you could set all 3 months up and say, this one's going to start on this date, this one's going to start on this date, etc. Right? But you could also just do start all now and click confirm, and there they went to whichever emails you selected. If you wanted to set one up for everybody you know in Louisville and everybody you know in Clemens and give them different market statistics, and you have them tagged that way, then you could just pull your I'm just going to pull A&Ws. You can just click on your tag for Old Sherwood Forest or Ardmore or 27104 or Louisville, whatever you're segmenting at, and just select that set of people. And you would send them the one that was for the area that you're talking about, right? If you work in 7 counties, you might set them up by county if you wanted to change out that one page. So it's really fully customizable to what you want it to be. You can leave it as generic or take it down as hyper locally as you want. If you want this to be a certain message to everyone with whom you go to church, or everybody who plays baseball with your kids, right? Then you can change it up and save different versions of the newsletter, right? How's everybody feeling? We good? Make sense? So we can email it, we can print it out and hand deliver it. We can print it out and mail it to somebody, snail mail. We can print it out and ask PB's Hot Dogs in Winston if I can put them on their counter, right? Whatever place that you patron, those are great people to ask if you can put business cards out, or can I drop this here, right? Think about all the different places that you go on a regular basis that you might be able to drop some of this stuff off, or different literature off at. Good?
Mhm.
You guys are so quiet.
I have a
feel
million
your pain.
questions, but it has nothing to do with this, so.
I feel your pain on the tired front. I am right there with you. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm not going to keep you longer than you need to be kept. But
Actually, can
ahead.
you hang on? Because I have some questions about smart plans and that I'm trying to work through.
I'll go ahead and get the recording stopped for this class, and then we can move into that.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you, guys.